Welcome to Mission 6, the first mission where we will be using a sniper rifle, but only once. We also have our throwing knife. Now the throwing knife is basically the silenced pistol, but even quieter. This makes it ideal for the tricky stuff we're going to do to get our first outfit. We want to kill this guy right as he walks by this tree. There's a very limited window where he won't spot us. And his buddy will see his body here in just a moment, and he'll rush down to it. And we're going to shoot his buddy in the back of the head while he's checking out his body. We want to come back here first, because obviously if we're too close to his buddy, he'll see us. And now that's 2 guards dead already, and we're only going to need one of their clothes. But after we take this guy's clothes, we're set for the level. But in spite of this, there are guards that will take much suspicion to us. There are a lot more suspicious people in this level than in any of the previous ones. And they seem to be on alert a lot more often, which makes sense considering this is, a very private area. Now our first target, Mr. Margaretti, is actually out here by the pool right now, but we can't kill him with all these guards around him. We would trigger an alert in a second and be dead, because he is absolutely surrounded by bodyguards. So we're going to go after Mr. Cataldo first, which requires entering the building. But while we're in here, we also have a mission to gain more intel on the conspiracy. And the room with the intel is right to our right. Unfortunately, there's a guy that patrols up and down the hallway, and he will notice if we start picking the lock. But fortunately for us, he also has the key, so if we take him out, we won't even need to pick the lock to start with. It's just a matter of waiting for him to turn around, really. Nobody else is in the hallway to see him. There will sometimes be someone who enters the hallway we're in, but I've timed it so that way that's not a concern. All we have to worry about is this guy. He did see us very briefly, so he will try to stop us, but it's all in vain. Now we're going to take the key off his body and open the door to the secret room, which is really just someone's office. And we're going to deposit the body in here so no one will see it. And of course, the secret intel is behind the painting on the wall. Why wouldn't it be? If you remember the safe cracking minigame from the very first mission, it has made a return. This time it is even easier because there are only 2 tumblers instead of 3. There we go, easy peasy. Microfilm obtained, we now have additional intel on the conspiracy. So now it's time to get back to the reason we actually came in this building, which is to kill Mr. Cataldo. Mr. Cataldo is upstairs. And there are guards right in front of his door, but in classic Alekhine's gun fashion, they will do nothing to stop us. Also, that audio for those men is so much louder than everything else, it's rather odd. Here's Mr. Cataldo's room. Nobody stops us from running in here, and we're just going to strangle him while he's painting. Yeah, Mr. Cataldo has maybe the most pathetic death out of all the targets in the game. It's just shamefully easy. Alright, we framed their opposing family, their rivals. So now we're going to put Mr. Cataldo's body away and get to the hardest part of the level. The success of this mission comes down entirely to how well I've timed things up until this exact moment. We're going to jump out onto Mr. Cataldo's balcony, whip out our sniper rifle, and if I timed it correctly, yep, he walks by right when we have the perfect opportunity to snipe him. It took a very long time to get that timing down properly, and I'm very proud it came out so well. Now all we have to do is exit the complex. Nobody saw us shoot him. They would have seen us if we stood there just a bit longer, but they didn't. So now we can make our way to the exit without anybody shooting at us. I'm sure there are way easier ways to kill Mr. Margaretti than just sniping him from up there, but I was so proud that I got the timing down properly, there is no way that I wasn't going to try and recreate that. Anyway, a couple of the guards will look at us funny, but not any funnier than usual, so we should be able to make it to the exit just fine.
So who is taking the microfilm to Washington?
Pearson will do it.
You're putting the life of the president in that man's hands.
It wasn't my decision. Regardless, we don't know for sure the president is in danger. They can take a look at the microfilm in Washington and decide for themselves.
What do you mean he is dead? Relax. Yeah, it was drastic, but I did what I had to do to get answers. How was I supposed to know he couldn't take it? Get your damn hands off me. What the hell, Andrew? Vargas was starting to talk. He would have given us all the answers we needed. Starting to talk? He was talking just enough to get us to ease up on him. He was buying time.
Let me know when the boys are finished.
At least we had something to work with. We didn't have shit. It was a mistake to work with him in the first place. You abduct a small-time crook like Vargas for questioning, but you off some high-profile guys like Cataldo. And the playing card. Really? They're onto us. They're going to be operating well below the radar now. This still gives us time. Well, congratulations. You bought us a few more days of waiting at the cost of the entire operation. I'm going to Washington, but you know what? If we can't stop this, if everything fails and the president... You will be personally responsible. I understand Andrew's concern, but sometimes he thinks he only answers to himself. His decisions, his plans, his methods. And if things don't go his way, he thinks it's the end of the world.
What if he's right?
Well, we can't give up. Peggy and Wesley have taped several encrypted calls from Miami. After what Vargas said, we started looking into these camps of his. Right here. 130 miles from Miami. Since the late 40s, there's been a small camp and a military post. There's also an unusual amount of radio chatter for an abandoned site. I'll arrange a plane. Vera can drive you to the airstrip. Godspeed, Semyon.
I find that hard to believe. Name one thing.
Well, for example, the opera.
Opera. Do you really like the opera? Why you've never said anything before?
When would I have mentioned such a thing? Oh, hello. I am Colonel Semyon Strogov. I like the opera.
I can't see it at all. The opera? So, what you know from the opera?
Parsifal, the Rheingold, Valkyrie. Have you heard of them?
All German operas. So that's what you did over there. I thought you fought.
Oh, if only I wasn't fighting all the time.
I have misjudged you, Semyon. I've never been to the opera.
So let's go. After all of this.
Is that an order, Colonel?
An invitation, Lieutenant.
In that case, I accept.